Atomic Swap is the 7th full-length album by the Dutch neo-prog band Timelock, and I can say it is fantastic.
Hi, I'm Simon from All Sweden.
Hi, I'm Hugh, also from All Sweden. And you're watching LiveProg.
Welcome, my friends, to the show that never ends, because every month or every week new music is coming out. I wish I could make as many videos as albums are coming out, but unfortunately I can. But I do pick out some really nice ones to share with you, like this one from Timelock. My name is Marcel Haster and this is LiveProg. Welcome. And yeah, I'm here to talk about Atomic Swap. This is a fantastic album. I made a video about Timelock at the beginning of this year, in which I pretty much covered their entire discography. I did that video because I bought this one, Contemporary Vintage, the so far only LP the band has released. Why that is, I did an interview with them some time ago. I was invited to their rehearsal studio to be a part of the rehearsals for their upcoming album presentation, which was a lot of fun. It was amazing to see these guys play, interact with each other, work on things and create beautiful music together. It was such a delight to be there. They're all such nice people. I had a great time, and at the end they gave me a copy of the brand new album, which I was listening twice on the drive home. That's how long I had a drive. Now, I loved it very much. It's an amazing album. But like I said, I've known Timelock since 1993 somewhere. That's where I discovered them with this one, Louise Brooks, which was still is one of my favorite albums. Then I got their entire discography and I really love their music. But I gotta be honest, when I got this one and I started to listen to this album, Atomic Swap, I was like, wow, this is really incredible. This is, to me, right now, this is not only my favorite album, but I think this is also the best album they did. And the reason, again, is explained in that interview, because the way that they work together on creating the music on this album, that makes it different. And that is also a difference from Sign In. This was the first album that they started as an 8-piece group. This is the second album they do as an 8-piece group. So they gotten to know each other better, their strengths, their weaknesses, and everything. And that enables them to create this beautiful album. And I'm loving it. I really do. It's 10 tracks. And I'm going to do a sort of a track by track. I'm going to do that because when I was listening to the album, I noticed several things. First of all, it's really melodic. They have an amazing rhythm section in Rob Boshuizen on drums and David Guring on bass. And again, when I was in that rehearsal place and I saw them play, you could see they were enjoying what they do. And that is one of the things they mentioned. It's like Timelock said that they are not aiming for world domination. They're not aiming for outside the Dutch borders. They make music because they like it. And that is something that you hear when you listen to the album. You hear that these are guys that are making music because they love the music. And that is their great strength. Plus the fact that they're really talented and skilled musicians, so that really helps as well, of course. And that also you hear when you listen to that album. It already starts with the first track, which is 11 minutes. It's the longest track on the album, Inuit, which is a big epic track, which opens with these really beautiful orchestrations. When the orchestrations fade away a little bit, you got the bass from David Guring coming in. The orchestrations, by the way, from Arjen van den Bos. He really does that really well. Then you got the guitars coming in after the bass. It is absolutely an epic melodic song that really showcases the Timelock sound. And I gotta say, this is a really fantastic song. The second track on the album, Baychimo, I hope I say that correctly, you can find on YouTube, so I'm not going to mention that. That was the first song they uploaded and released as a appetizer for the new album. There's another track, let me see, track number 5, The Universe. That is also on YouTube. That's the second song they released, again, to get some interest in the music for the band and give them a taste of what the album sounds like. And I gotta say, there's so much more to enjoy. If you like those songs, you're gonna love this album, because there's a lot more to discover on this album. So I'm gonna skip these 2 songs. But what I noticed in the car already, when I was listening to Stranger Within, the third song on the album, I was listening to that intro guitar part, and I was like, hey man, that sounds a lot like Empty Spaces from The Wall from Pink Floyd. It was like, am I hearing it correctly? And when I got home, I put it on a good stereo and I listened to it again. And yeah, I definitely heard a similarity to the opening guitars in Empty Spaces, and that's definitely a track I love about The Wall, but it works really well here. Also, next up, there's another touch of in the vocal part, another touch of The Wall in it. When you listen, you hear it. It really works very well. And I did check with Martin Hendricks, the guitar player. He was like, The Wall. He had no idea, and he listened, and he was like, oh yeah, now he heard it, and he said it's absolutely not intentional. So it's absolutely by chance that these guitar parts are similar, but I really like that little touch in it, that you see the inspiration of Pink Floyd shining through in this music. The rest of the song, again, this is also an epic of almost 10 minutes. Again, it's a really fantastic song. What's even more interesting, I mean, this album brings so much new to what Timelock does, and that's why I think it's such a great album, because they try out new things. And there was one thing that really surprised me. In between the rehearsals, we sat down for a drink and we started chatting, and Julian, the keyboard player, he made a remark about that he wrote a song for Ruud Stoker, he's the vocalist. But Ruud said maybe we should let Laura sing it. Laura Erades is one of the two backing vocalists together with Kobe van Oorschot. And when you hear them sing also on the album, but also live in that rehearsal room, it sounds really fantastic. And I love it when you have multiple singers, because you can create something vocally really beautiful. And that's what they do on this album. But for this song, Lost in Your Mind, Laura Erades takes up the lead vocals. And that is something that is a first for the band, because every other song has been sung by Ruud Stoker, but this song is sung by Laura Erades, and she does a really fantastic job on it. She also wrote the lyrics to that song. So you see that with this 8-piece lineup, they gathered some people that are really complementing each other, that are really adding so much to the sound of Timelock, and that is absolutely something I love about this band, and I love about this album, and it is really a beautiful song. So yeah, let's move on. There's so much to discover on this album. Another thing that, just popped my mind when I was listening to it is the next track number 7, track number 6, I skipped the universe, of course. Artificial Intelligence. It has a subtitle, Akili Yabandia. And I was like, what does that mean? Well, thank you, Google Translate, for translating that. Akili Yabandia is Swahili for artificial intelligence. And that is also, when you listen to the song, at the beginning, you have this choir singing that Swahili phrase. And it gives a real interesting effect on it. And it creates, again, a really beautiful song. Again, this album has nothing but highlights. Every song is such a treat to listen to. These guys have created something so beautiful. I'm really impressed by this one. So all these nice touches they put in there. If you move on with the album, you get a passage to Rapa Nui. It starts out with this beautiful acoustic guitar, and then you got this really beautiful synth part in and a really amazing guitar solo in it. On the album there are several fantastic guitar solo in. That what I noticed that Martin Hendricks really shines on the guitar on this album. But maybe not standing out as much as, of course, the guitar solo. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the rhythm section, Rob Boshuizen and David Guring. If you listen closely to the album, you listen how well they lay the foundation for the songs on this album. And I really want to stress that, because, it was such a treat to see them in that rehearsal studio playing their parts. It was like you had to be there, but it was really a lot of fun. And you can see a little bit of that in the interview I did, which you can also find, of course, on this YouTube channel. All right, 3 more songs on the album. Until Darkness Calls, when you read the lyrics of it, it's kind of a bit of a dark song, but when you listen to the music and you listen to the way it is sung, it is a surprisingly uplifting song. It's a bit of an up-tempo song. It's a really nice song. Then we move into the penultimate song. I love that word, penultimate. I don't know if it fits on this, but Watch the Crime, Do We Care? It's an interesting concept to think about, but this one brings in some really vintage prog sounds in the song, but at the same time with a modern touch on it, again with a beautiful synth part in it by Julian Driessen. So yeah, it's just so delightful to listen to this. And the album ends with an instrumental song, Insomnia. I don't think they do a lot of instrumental songs, but this one is a really nice way to end the track because it's a shorter song. It's about 3 minutes, but it is really beautiful. So yeah, a track by track. I only mentioned some of the highlights. Trust me, when you start to listen to this album, there's a lot more to discover in it because it is a fantastic album. I had an idea that it was going to be a great album, but I had no idea it would be this great. So all I can say is, you know what? This is a LiveProg recommended album. Timelock Atomic Swap. Get a copy. Do your ears a favor. You will love it, definitely. There are several people that I saw on social media that bought a copy of this album. They are only full of praise about it. And that's the only way to talk about this album because it is really fantastic. So once again, a LiveProg recommended release. Get a copy of it and start enjoying it. Enjoy the music. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you guys with the next video.